podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
Hello, everybody. Whoop, here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dumbing It Down with Dave. My name is Dave-Kanyan. Are you ready to dumb it down? All right, that's fantastic. Thank you very much for tuning in, stumbling upon, or Googling, or Spreakering, or whatever it is, however you found it. I appreciate you being here. My name is Dave-Kanyan. Welcome to the Dumbcast. It is October 21st. It is right now 1:13 Chicago time. I am west of Chicago. I'm in Illinois, and I am at a retreat. I'm at a retreat at Camp Henry Horner, Horner, in Ingleside, Illinois, I-N-G-L-E, side, Ingleside, Illinois, and I'm here. So you're listening to a Dumbcast. You're listening to a podcast, which is, when I do it, a Dumbcast. But this particular episode and the next couple or few, I'm not sure how many I'm going to do. I have some people lined up for interviews. We're going to do some Coda-casts, and I did some Coda-casts from Vancouver when I went to Coda-Can 2017 back in, when was that, July? So here we go. Let's try to get right to it as soon as possible. I'm at a thing called Coda-Nois, Coda, Codanois. It is the Midwest Coda 2017 retreat. I got here yesterday, Friday the 20th. Today's the 21st, Saturday, 1:13 p.m. Just had lunch. And tomorrow is Sunday, and this thing will wrap up about 12:30. And then I'm going to go tour Chicago. So if everything works out, I hope to do about 3, 4, 5, maybe Coda-casts. And we'll see. We'll see who I can line up. Let's see what I have to say. Let's see if any of this works. This is actually take 2 of this Coda-cast because I had a technical issue. What else is new? And the original episode I did cut off in 15 minutes. So I did some research, and I don't know. My plan is supposed to automatically renew with Spreaker. So I don't know what happened. I'm supposed to have at least 45 minutes, and it only gave me 15 minutes. It cut me off. Of course, I was devastated because, it was the 15 greatest minutes of podcasting I've ever done in my life, and I had to discard it. I didn't even try to save it. As you know, there's no point in me saving anything. I can't reuse it. So I just discarded it. Everything I did, every moment of brilliance and comedy and genius and insight, it was such a great, emotional 15 minutes. The best I've ever done. And you might say, well, Dave, if it's so great, why didn't you save it? I just kind of felt it wasn't great enough. It wasn't great enough. I had to get rid of it. So I'm going to do another great episode, and this one will be at least 30 minutes. So anyway, if the microphone is a little bit hot, my apologies. There's a wind blowing. I'm in the middle of a field. So I'm working with this Movo microphone. I'm determined to make it work. You know that some of you know or don't know, September 18th was my last podcast, so it's been a little bit over a month. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been over 30 days since my last podcast. I bought a phone from my buddy Bobby. I bought an iPhone 6S, which I think has been working fantastic for me. I love every bit of it. I mean, I say love. I don't like to love inanimate objects, but I really, really like everything that it does, because it seems to do everything my Android wouldn't do, like work, it seems to do. So I'm enjoying it. It's an iPhone 6S. I just got an update from iOS, the Apple people, but I haven't done it yet, so I don't know what's going to happen to my phone. So I'm holding off. I guess at some point they're going to force me to do it, like I'm going to have no choice to do it. But until then, I'm much happier now than I was with the Android phone. I think it sounds good. I haven't listened to this episode yet, obviously, because I'm in the middle of recording it. Anyway, so enough of the techno. Oh, by the way, I bought the phone from my buddy Bobby, who was in my last episode, Carb Crashing, C-A-R-B, Carb Crashing with Bobby Massey, and we did it in my Honda Fit. Did we do it in my Fit? I think we did it in my Honda Fit, and we did it the outside of a Starbucks. So it's a pretty interesting episode. It's like 40 minutes long. It's a little bit longer than we wanted to do it. Bobby was not hesitant in doing it, but I think he would like to have that episode over and do it all over again, which is very typical for a lot of us comedians, where we hear something and then we want to do it again. So here it is. I get a chance to do another great episode 82, Coda-Nois. Coda-Nois Part 1. That's what I'm going to call it. There's nothing else to call it. Coda-Nois Part 1. All right, so let's get right to it. We'll do the mileage report real quick, right? Then I'll talk about Coda-Nois. I'll talk about my life a little bit, and then we'll end the episode about a half hour in. I got some outdoor activities to do. Apparently, there's some zip lining available. Can you imagine me on a zip line? I might do that. There's some kayaking or canoeing. I might do that. I should meditate. I have a deal with a buddy of mine I made here, Jim. I might have him as a guest in the next couple of episodes. He's agreed to do the show. We made a little deal, a promise that before I overeat or before I do anything kind of unhealthy, that I would remember that moment where I was watching the New York City Marathon about 4 or 5 years ago, the original inspiration for me becoming a runner years ago and losing all that weight and having the greatest year of my life, the year of running. So I promised I would do that, and he promised to meditate. So he said he went out and meditated today. I saw him running, but I didn't see him meditate, but it's still great. I'm glad that he said it, and I hope that he did it. And I told him about my Headspace app, and I hope he downloads it. So that's a little bit about the Coda experience right off the top, is that you develop these relationships, and there's a lot of trust. At least for me, there's a lot of trust. And, you try to expand your horizons and expand your relationships and really expand your Coda experience. By the way, and for those of you that don't know, Coda, C-O-D-A, is Children of Deaf Adults. It's an international organization, and I am here in a region. They're broken up. Coda's broken up into like 7 or 8 different regions, maybe more, maybe less. You'll have to apologize for all my misspellings, my mispronunciations, and my misinformation. It's what we do here best. So we just have to, ride along with everything I say that's incorrect and stupid. And uninformed and misinformed and all that good stuff. I'm not trying to mislead anybody. It's just the way I am. So I'm here in Chicago, Ingleside, Illinois, which is west of O'Hare Airport, which is west of the city of Chicago, which is way west of New York, where I came from. So it's all about expanding your Coda experience, Children of Deaf Adults, and listening to other Codas talk about their experiences. And it's a little tribe that we have, and it's not a cult. We don't drink the juice. We just love, and we hug, and we share. Not necessarily in that order, but you know what I mean. We hug. A lot of times we hug first, and then we share. And then we cry and we laugh. Last night was a bonfire, B-O-N, is that how you pronounce it? I'm a city boy. I've never really done them. So we did a bonfire. There was some music playing, which was nice. And today we had a keynote speaker this morning. We had breakfast, which was nice. It's all good. Good enough for me. You know me, good enough. And we had a keynote address from a man named Alan. I won't give out his last name because there's a privacy issue here. I'm sure he would give permission if I asked him, but I'm just going to tell you his name was Alan, and he talked about his life. He's a very good storyteller. He's one of these rock stars of the Coda world. For those of you that know, I try to be involved in the podcasting world, and there are rock stars of the podcasting world. There are names that you mention, these names, and everybody knows who they are because they're rock stars in the podcasting world. There's rock stars in sports, and there's rock stars in music. So here in the Coda world, there are certain rock stars. There are names that have been around for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and people are somewhat famous. They're somewhat known. They're somewhat, whatever they are, they're there. And so he's one of those guys, and he tells a lot of stories, a lot of great stories about his childhood, about his adulthood, about his Codahood, and he's got some Codanality. He's got it going on. He's a very funny guy. And he's also very insightful, so that's what even makes him funnier, that he is insightful. He is warm and generous and all that good stuff. So that's what leads to being a good speaker. He's very relatable, and people love him. And I loved him too. So that was the morning's keynote thing. Then we had lunch. I just ate lunch, and I avoided all carbs that I know of. I had hamburgers and hot dogs, but I did not have any bread. I'm trying to make a commitment starting, this weekend. One of a million commitments that I've made in my life to recuperating and getting back to the year of running. So anyway, let's do the mileage report real quick. We'll just get that over with. Maybe we'll take a breather. And I'm just glad to be back. I'm sorry that it's been over 30 days. But, I got to take care of business, folks. You know that. I just got to take care of business. This podcast is not the highest thing on the priority list. So, and I apologize for that. It's not that you're not important. You're important. Of course you're important. And I want to provide you with entertainment. And I do this podcast really mostly for me. It's a way of expressing myself. I normally do it in my car. I normally do it in my Kia Rio. It's normally the fastest podcast on earth. But and I do it in my porta potty. But I'm not there right now. I'm here. And I've changed porta potties. And we'll get to that in later episodes. So let's do the mileage report real quick. I do the mileage report because I thought it would be interesting to document the mileage in my car, the Kia Rio LX, 2008 Kia Rio LX, and document the mileage as I do weekly or sometimes twice a week shows to see. I think I started like at 208,000 or something like that, and but by the time I got to my last episode, I think I was up to like 240,000 miles. And also, it's a nice way of getting some potential sponsorship from Kia or any car company for that matter that wants to be part of this podcast, and whatever. Anyway, so I do the mileage report, and otherwise I would just be giving some plug to a buddy of mine, and it wouldn't sound as right. Like, hey guys, you should listen to this. But if I decided to incorporate it into a mileage report, and it sounds a lot better. So anyway, today's mileage report is brought to you by pipedream.com. No, just Pipe Dream. It's a show anywhere you are in the world. If it's Wednesday at 8 o'clock on the eastern seaboard of the United States, it's time for Pipe Dream. It's a 1-hour live podcast. It's hosted by my buddy Mike, also known as 3D, and he has a special guest every week, and he has 2 co-hosts, and they do it live, and it's also, you can see it on YouTube as they're streaming it on comedypipe.com. So anywhere you are in the world, if it's Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the East Coast, it's time for Pipe Dream. Okay, so there you go. That's my mileage report. I don't have any miles to tell you, except I'm 1,000 miles away from home. I have no idea. I flew here on American Airlines. It was very nice plane, very nice everything. It's nice to sit in economy, not a basic economy like I did with United, where you have to pay for your carry-on. You get one shoulder strap, like one backpack carry-on that goes underneath the seat with United, and then you have to pay for the carry-on, and they check it underneath the plane. American was a cheaper flight, and they let me bring the carry-on with me, which is very important to me because it has my CPAP in there, and I can't sleep without the CPAP. So it's good to bring everything with me. I don't like checking luggage if I don't have to do it. So that's it. And I paid like $227. I didn't buy the insurance. I paid $227 round trip from LaGuardia to O'Hare. And I also paid for long-term parking in LaGuardia for $108. So that's $335. Plus I paid for this conference, which is fine. That was a couple $100, I think. I don't remember. And I'm having a great time. It's such a beautiful day today, October 21st, at 1:15. Oh, now it's 1:25 in the afternoon. So, how are we doing here? Oh, yeah, good. So, anyway, that's it. So, I'm trying to get you all up to date. I'm a little rusty on the podcasting, but I want to do this solo podcast before I bring on any special guests. I want to get this out of the way. I want to make sure this works. I want to make sure it sounds good. I want to make sure everything's up to snuff according to the very low Dumbing It Down with Dave standards that we have set over the last 81 episodes. And that's it. That's the mileage report. So why am I here? Because it's a retreat. For those of you that know, I went to Coda-Nois in Vancouver back in July, and that was fantastic. It was fantastic to meet these people, to listen to their stories. A lot of these stories are horrific. Some of these stories are painful. Some of the stories are joyous. They help put your life into perspective. At least for me, it did. Because I came out of Coda-Nois saying to myself, you know what, Dave? As bad as I thought I had it, I didn't have it that bad. I had it rougher than many, than some, but relatively speaking, my experience was not all that bad. So, and that was okay with me. I didn't have to have a bad experience. Hold on one second. I got to take a little sip of this beverage here. All right. I'm having a little lemonade with Red Stag on ice. It is delicious. Red Stag, black cherry bourbon, I think it is. So Coda-Can was fantastic. There's a lot of coders that are listening to the show. Did I mention that this is a Coda-Cast? It's a podcast. It's a dumbcast. But this episode is a Coda-Cast, Children of Deaf Adults. So it was great to go to Coda-Can. It was great to meet all those people. 300 people I met. I think I met them all. If I didn't meet them all, I met 290 of them. And they were fantastic people. And it's a nice little tribe to be a part of. It's not a cult. We don't drink a juice. But what we do is we introduce ourselves, we hug, we share, we laugh, we cry, because of the experiences that we have growing up with deaf adults that raise us. And they raise us in very interesting ways, and we're a product of our environment. And to be the product of deaf adults is quite different than, families that are, I was just about to say normal, but nobody's normal. But to come from a family of non-deaf adults is a totally different experience. But every family has their thing. But the Coda experience, the deaf adult thing, is quite common. I mean, it's quite not common. It's quite specific, and we all sort of share a very similar life. Same but different is something that I think we always say. Okay, so what else can I tell you? So there was a keynote address, and then there's outdoor activities, and then later this afternoon, what does it say on the schedule? I'm free to do nothing, by the way, which is the same thing they had in Vancouver. I can do nothing but sit here all day and podcast. There's some outdoor activities right now, and then there's going to be a breakout, One Generation Thick on the Border by Bob. And I'm not going to say his last name right now, although he wouldn't care. So I don't know what that means, One Generation Thick on the Border, but that is the breakout session. It's not a keynote speech. There's a closing keynote speech tomorrow at 10:15 in the morning. And then after that, there'll be dinner. Then after that, there'll be campfire and s'mores, it says, 7:30 tonight. And then 9 o'clock, story time, which everybody loves, story time in what they call the hospital room. And that's where probably Alan and a few other guys here, this guy named David, that's who's doing the closing Coda-Nois Fish. It's called Fish by Dave, and he's a storyteller too. So we got some rock stars here of storytelling. People love the stories, and I'm glad to be here. I don't know if I really have much else to add as far as Coda goes. I love it here. I'm relaxed. I'm actually sitting in the middle of this entire campground, and I'm underneath a structure that if he had tent material, I would be in a tent. But there's the structure that it's like a MASH unit. Remember the show MASH? They would put these poles in the ground, and there's a ceiling of poles. It's just all poles, Poles. And if you put material above this structure, I'd be inside a tent. So I'm just sitting in this untented tent facility, and I'm looking at this field. I wish I could take pictures and post it on a website, but I'm not that up to date. I'm not that knowledgeable about how to do all that. I guess I could take pictures and put it on my Facebook page. I should probably start doing that, right? Why haven't I done that this whole time? I don't know why that didn't strike me as a thing I could do, is take pictures and put it on my Facebook page. All right, I'll try to do that. There you go. Can you believe it took me 82 episodes to figure out that I could take pictures and put it on my Facebook page? What a dummy. I'm just sitting here realizing what a dummy I am. Because every time I want to take pictures, I go, yeah, but what am I going to do with them? I don't know how to put it on my website. And I could have been utilizing the Facebook page. So stupid. What a dummy. And you're probably sitting there going, really, Dave? Really? You're really just figuring this out now? Yeah. It didn't occur to me until just now that I could put pictures on my Facebook page. Yeah. That's so stupid. All right. There you go. Brain degradation. Sleep deprivation and brain degradation. That's like one little small part of me, that's part of that brain degradation. You might think, Dave, maybe you're just dopey. Maybe you've always been this dopey, or maybe you've always been this absent-minded, or maybe you've always been this uncreative. But, it takes a certain energy to maintain creativity, and that energy has fallen out of the bottom of my life a long time ago. So, no violins, no sadness, just it requires a certain amount of energy. A certain part of your creative life requires energy, and a lot of it is really falling out of the bottom for me. And the last couple of months have been very tough. My brain has been hurting, my head's been hurting. I've talked about that in previous episodes. There's a lot of days where I'm in a lot of pain in the head. Still been sleep deprivation, and I experience brain degradation every day. So there you go. All right, tell you what. We're 20 minutes in. Let's take a breather. I'm testing. Last time I took a breather was disgusting. All right, I'm warming up. Oh, my nose is so clogged up. I don't know what's going on. I can't breathe lately. Anyway, let's take a breather. For those of you that don't know what a breather is, we're going to take 3 deep breaths. That's all. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. First one, second one, third one, successively deeper as we go. When you get to the top, you hold it for a second, and then you let it out. You breathe in through your nose, and you let it out through your mouth, and hopefully I'll feel better after that. And I'll finish up the podcast, and maybe I'll finish. I always say maybe I'll finish it in 25 minutes, but somehow I find a way to bore you and continue on to 30 minutes. By the way, thank you to Helen. Speaking of boring, she's not boring. I always feel like I'm boring, but she said to me, this woman Helen, who was my first fan that I've ever met live, says she likes my voice. She likes listening to the show. And it was very nice to hear that. Of course, I would always like everybody to post. I need validation. So my wife and I talk about this all the time. She goes, "Boy, you really need a pat in the back, don't you?" I go, "Well, I am doing a podcast. It is, part of it is that I give to you and you take, which is, I'm glad you take because I'm giving, and then you give back. So if you could post, and I'm not just saying this to Helen, I'm saying this to everybody. It's nice if you post every show. Click like, share it, tell your friends, but I like to see activity. It makes artists feel good. But Dave, you said you do this for yourself. Yeah, I know I do this for myself. All right, so I lie a little, okay? I lie a little. I would love to see the internet full of activity about my podcast. Because believe it or not, even though you think you don't know anybody, just the fact that you're putting my show out on the internet, it helps. If everybody would share and post and comment and whatever it is that you can do, there's buttons right there. Tweet it, Instagram it, tumble it, whatever. I don't know. Discover it for yourself. I don't know. You can email me if you want me to read your comment on air. I'll read your comment on air, whatever. So you can tweet me at DumbWithDave. You can, of course, my website is horrible, dumbingitdownwithdave.com. You can email me at dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. And of course, you can comment right here on the Spreaker app. Also, I'm on iTunes, I guess, right? I'm on iTunes. You look for me there. I guess you can give me a 5-star rating, and you can leave a nice comment, right? Right? How hard is that? Even if it's not true, I'd appreciate you if you could do it. All right, let's take a breather. We're getting late into the show. Let's take a breather. Ready? 3 deep breaths. Here we go. Number 1. Go. All right, that's a good one. Little novice, little first breath. Second one, a little bit deeper. Wow, I am really clogged up. And then in through the nose and out through the mouth. A little, hold it when you get to the top. Ready? Here we go. Number 2. God, I feel like I've been smoking, which I haven't been. I don't know what's going on. All right, third and final deep breath. All right, this one should hurt. I don't know why, but it should hurt a little bit. All right, so make it hurt a little bit. Really suck it in and then let it out through the mouth. Ready? Last one. Here we go. Did you feel your rib cage expand? I did. Man, I never used to feel that. I don't know if that's good or bad. Anyway, maybe my posture just sucks. I have no idea. Okay, so thank you. There was a breather. That breather was brought to you by air. Anywhere you are in the world, if there's air, you should probably be breathing it. Most of it's for free. And a lot of it is very clean. It's good for you. Air. A-I-R. Live and enjoy the air. Enjoy your life, breath by breath. All right, so let's close it up. So what have I done? Future episodes coming up, hopefully with a couple of it. This went well with some codas that are here today. I met some people. I'll share them with you. I have at least 3 in mind. I could interview all 80 of them, but there's 80 people here, 81, 82 people. But I don't have time for all that. That would take about 40 hours. I'm moving into my Honda Fit. I will explain that in future episodes. As far as the podcast is concerned, I've moved out of the Kia and I'm into the Fit, but I'm actually moving into my Honda Fit. So I'll explain that in the future episodes. And I'm still at work. I'm still truck driving. I'm still largely sleep deprived and brain degraded. I'm still largely unhealthy. My head's been hurting for a while, although the last couple of days, not so much. I'm hoping to see the New York City Marathon first Sunday in November. I'm hoping to do that, maybe I'll get re-inspired to run, coinciding with my move into my Honda Fit. I'm still friends with Mark. It's a day-to-day struggle, but he's a wonderful human being, and I appreciate his friendship. For many reasons, and somewhat in part because he tolerates me. And I tolerate his bullshit too. We all have BS, right? Don't we? So you tolerate what you can. Is every friendship perfect? No. It's a give and take, right? Give and take. We just celebrated my mother's 80th birthday. That was difficult. That was a family difficult thing for me to logistically help out with. I hired the photographer, and that was a big pain in the ass. And maybe I'll talk about that in future episodes. Listen, if you guys have any questions, I don't like doing this type of thing. I'm not asking for ideas of what to do the show, but if there's something that I mentioned in the show, and sometimes I mention things, and then I go on a rabbit trail and I don't come back and finish it, my apologies. Please let me know. If there's anything in previous episodes I never got to, feel free to comment there on the Spreaker app. I haven't been looking at the iTunes comment section. I don't even know how to get there, but you can email me at dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. You can tweet me at dumbwithdave. I will try to answer any and all questions, comments, whatever. I want to share with you. So if you want to share back with me, it's fine with me. If you don't want to share, that's okay too. I appreciate and respect your privacy. It's such a freaking beautiful day here today, and I'm so glad to be here. I'm going to meditate now. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to download my Headspace app. I've already downloaded it, but I'm going to listen to it, and I'm going to meditate, and I'm going to try to meditate several times today because I'm way behind in my meditation. I used to do it 10 minutes a day when I first started with Headspace. I did the 10 free ones. I did the 10 free ones for weeks and months, over and over and over again. And you can do that, by the way. It's free. Headspace. I don't get paid for it. Headspace.com. And then I paid for it. And I started moving up in the different time, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I really was up to like 30, 40 minutes a day. And then being a creature of habit, creature of momentum, I stumbled. And I don't know what happened. Just like I stopped running, I stopped meditating. And I'm not happy about that. I really think meditating is great. I think it's underrated. It's under acknowledged, and it's misunderstood. It's a good thing to meditate. And yoga is a good thing too, but I'm not preaching yoga. I like to do more of that. And just daily exercise and eating right and interactions with humans who love and support is very important. If you're in a world of haters, you're not going to live long. And if you do, you're not going to live happy. So you got to get away from the haters. You got to get away from the ignorant. And that's on both sides. If there's such a thing as sides in this world, because it seems like in this United States right now there are sides. And there are ignorant people on both sides. And it's very tough for me to deal with because I'm friends with people on both sides. I've always been friends with jocks and nerds and funny and unfunny and black and white and left and right. And it's painful to listen to. Some of you people are out of your mind. You're really angry. You're misinformed. You're misguided. And I admit I am too. But at least I acknowledge it. Which is why I try to stay in the middle. I try not to be too committal. That doesn't mean I'm non-committal. It just means like I'm open-minded. Try to listen, expand my horizons, and incorporate as much as I can into my daily walk. And hope for the best. All right? All right, folks. That was good. I think we ended brilliant. I think I dumbed it down. Did I dumb it down for you? It wasn't the greatest podcast in the world, but listen, I haven't done one in over 30 days. I'm a little rusty. I've had a lot to tell you every day, but it's just been painful. So I just can't. Sometimes I just can't hit the button. I just can't do it, and I don't want to do a known horrible. I don't want to go out. Well, maybe it wouldn't be horrible. It just feels like it would be horrible. So I stopped myself. I just stopped myself from doing it. Maybe it's a wrong decision. Maybe I should just always hit the button And if I want to talk for 10 seconds, listen, folks, I'm here. This is episode 83. I'm going. Bye. Maybe that's all I need to do. Maybe I need to work through that. I don't know. I'm just afraid. I'm afraid to really shut everybody off, like to really piss you off or to really hate podcasting. I don't want to hate podcasting. And if I force myself to do it like it's a job, I think it's not going to be fun. Like, I have to go and do. I have to go close the door. I have to hit the button. I have to do something. As soon as I have to do it, then it's horrible. I give platelets. When I donate platelets because I want to. There's a certain part of me that feels like I have to because they need platelets. Everybody, the medical world always needs platelets. So I have to. But if I don't, then it's okay. It doesn't really affect my life. It affects the people who are receiving my platelets. I have to go to work. I have to. I have to go to work. And it's one of the reasons why I haven't been enjoying work as much lately. Because I have to. I have to. I don't want to. I want to retire, which is in the plans, and we'll talk about that in future episodes. We're getting closer. We're not close enough, but we're getting closer. So, yeah, I don't want to have to podcast. I hope you guys can understand that. I like to want to podcast. I like to, when I hit the button, to know that I'm doing it of my own free will. And I'm just thrilled to be here. So right now I'm thrilled to be at Coda-Nois, at Camp Henry Horner in Ingleside, New York. I'm going to just quickly, I think her name is Sapphira. I will get the spelling for you. Is it on here? No, I'll get the spelling for you. Sapphira is a wonderful woman, and she helped put this together. There's another woman named Shirley, who I'm looking at right now, walking by me. There's some names. I'll try to get you some names. It doesn't matter what names I mention to you. You don't know who they are for the most part, especially if you're a non-coda. But there's a lot of people that put this event together, these retreats. And its logistics are difficult. You all know that. Logistics are very, very difficult. To put up with all this nonsense of complaints and difficulties of logistics is very exhausting for a lot of people. Anyway, I'll mention some more names as time goes on. I'm going to listen to this back, and if it sounds good, you'll hear a few more. So this was episode 82, Coda-Nois from Illinois. And this is Dave Kanyan, your one and only solo podcast, Dumbcast, and CodaCast host. By the way, the show you just listened to is the only show of its kind ever, anywhere in the world, that you'll hear a podcast, Dumbcast, and CodaCast. Understand that. That's why it's important for you to share it. Because a lot of people don't know a show like this exists. People don't know that you can get 3-in-1 shows. I mean, it might be only like 32, 33 minutes long, but you just got 3 shows in one. I don't know how I was able to manage to juggle 3 different types of casts, but I did. I did it. And it was almost flawless how I did it. And I hope you can appreciate that I just juggled 3 half-hour shows and made it seem as if it was one show. Podcast, Dumbcast, CodaCast. All right, so long for now. From Coda-Nois in Illinois, this is Dave Kanyan. This was episode 82. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, that's it. Goodbye. Good day. Good night. Good luck. Good riddance. Godspeed. I had another one, and I forgot it already. I had another G. Oh, good rats. Yeah. I'll explain that another time. It's too late now. Yeah, there you go. Good day, good night, good riddance. No, good day, good night, goodbye. Was it goodbye first? Don't you love when I mess this up? This is a blooper reel that you're listening to. Yeah, goodbye, good day, good night, good luck, good riddance, good rats, Godspeed, and great skills. Take care, folks. We'll see you next episode.